Instagram post. That would be amazing. Thank you.
Di?
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Okay. My time second. Welcome back, everyone. We will be doing a short roll call again. Now, please, you only get the ballot for your own LC because voting. Okay. Good. Aachen. Anwesend mit Stimmrecht. Berlin-TU. Huskies. Anwesend mit Stimmrecht. Bonn. Abwesend. Braunschweig. Anwesend mit Stimmrecht. Bremen. Anwesend mit Stimmrecht. Dresden. Anwesend mit Stimmrecht und Action mit Stimmdelegation. Düsseldorf. Anwesend mit Stimmrecht. Frankfurt. Anwesend mit Stimmrecht und Action mit Stimmdelegation. Göttingen.
Anwesend mit Stimmrecht.
That was my text. Halle. Anwesend mit Stimmrecht. Hamburg. Anwesend mit Stimmrecht und Action mit Stimmdelegation. Hannover. Anwesend mit Stimmrecht. Karlsruhe. Anwesend mit Stimmrecht und Action mit Stimmdelegation. Köln. Anwesend mit Stimmrecht. Lüneburg. Anwesend mit Stimmrecht und Action mit Stimmdelegation. Mannheim. Abwesend. München.
Michael?
München?
Yes.
Hello.
Okay.
You do not have voting rights because you were not there on input. You lost voting rights.
Okay, don't worry.
So you do not have the right to vote. Sorry. Dann anwesend ohne Stimmrecht. Münster.
Monster.
Anwesend mit Stimmrecht. Nürnberg. Anwesend mit Stimmrecht. Paderborn. Anwesend mit Stimmrecht und extra Stimmdelegation. Passau. Anwesend mit Stimmrecht und extra Stimmdelegation. Regensburg. Anwesend ohne Stimmrecht mit interner Stimmdelegation. Stuttgart. Abwesend. MCP Siemensberger Gonzale will be here in a second. MCP Helene. Anwesend mit Stimmrecht. MCP Carina. Anwesend mit Stimmrecht. MCP Luke.
Wolves.
Anwesend mit Stimmrecht. This is all members with voting rights. Besides this, we have in the room MC Directors Firas Shirin Elias, Chair Fernandez Molina, MCP Process Control Thai, Candidate Support Insa, Showcasing Ahmed, LCP Elect Amal, and Aziz. Okay, that's everyone? Cool. Then with this.
Amazing. Okay. I'm going to speak in the.
Yeah, we're just.
Wow, first time I'm doing this. Okay.
And if you want to take it, you can.
Okay. Welcome back to MCP election. Amazing. Okay, so give me like let's do a barometer with noise on how good the cluster rounds were. If it was like super shit and like the most useless 30 hours of your life, then just stay silent. And if it was super good and you got to ask all your questions, it was super fun to also hang out with your fellow clustered people, then let's make some noise! Okay, so this is the energy you should bring when Simon is coming in, okay? that was actually insane. But good, I'm glad that you enjoyed it. We are now coming to the surprise phase. I know. Yes, okay, so before we actually, Simon is actually already working on the surprise phase. I gave it to him a while ago, so he has time to do the task. He has right now 30 minutes to prepare the task, and then he will have 15 minutes of presentation. There will be no question space or anything, so he will just present and then he will leave again, similar to also the opening speech. Yes, so you already know that. Before we go into the actual task, some very quick alignments or let's say expectations. So we gave, as you know, Simon the task where you have 30 minutes to solve it and then 15 minutes to present. No question and answer. This task is to test his creativity and ability to think outside of the box. So the situation that we were presenting in the task, which you will also read in a minute, is not the current reality of AIESEC in Germany. However, we try to base it on the bottlenecks that we are currently seeing. So just know that it is definitely an exaggerated scenario, but also it is not, totally out of the blue, let's say. But with this connected is also that what he will present here is not something that he planned before, is probably not connected at all to the strategy that he wants to propose for 26, 27. Maybe some parts of it are represented in it, maybe not at all. I don't know, that's a surprise, guys. And also a surprise for me, I guess, but just for you to know that this is not the space where you go out and you say like, oh, there is a price space, he said this and this and this, and he will definitely implement those things. Clear? Amazing. Okay, any questions in general to this? Then I will show you the task and you will have some time to read through it. It's a lot of text, sorry, so take your time. Give me a thumbs up when you're done reading. Okay. Let's wait a few more seconds. Okay, any understanding questions for any of the words or whatever about this task? No? Okay, Simon has 4 minutes and 27 seconds more. Yes?
Just like a bit of a weird scenario that we have no German speakers, the back office is stable and front office is not, even though German is way more needed in the back office.
Good point. Yeah. Do you want me to elaborate on the task? Because I'm not going to. Yes, so we have thought about this, as I said, based on bottlenecks that we are also currently already seeing, or like maybe not necessarily bottlenecks, but also trends that we have been seeing over the last few years on how the entity is developing. And so it's kind of based on that. And then it's really just on what he takes out of this, on which of these parts he wants to focus or which not. As you can see also, he only has 3 things that he can propose. So of course, probably he cannot tackle all of the problems, but let's see what he takes out of this, how he presents his output. Yeah, any more questions? Yeah.
Just general about the process, for example, when Simon enters, should be still hype up, and then he will have 15 minutes time to present. What will you do after?
Very good question. Yes, it will basically be the same as with the other speeches. When he comes in, we still hype and give him a good energy and give him smiles. And then he is doing the 15 minutes of presentation. He is allowed to include you and interact with you. There are literally no limitations to this, but you are not allowed to ask questions back unless he specifically asks for it, I guess. He can also do that. Everything is possible. Yes, and then after this phase, he is leaving again. We will have, I think, 15 minutes break actually, and then comes the closing speech. Any more questions? No. Amazing. Okay, Simon has 2 minutes and 30 seconds more. We're over time. And so you have 2 minutes and 30 seconds more to look at this beautiful task and check it out. There's literally nothing else I can tell you. So I don't know what else to do with those 2 minutes. So just enjoy them in silence, I guess. Or maybe Fernanda wants to tell us a joke. For another time, I will tell you my joke. And then I will already leave soon to get Simon. And yeah, that will be digital. So we need to open anything else. Okay, but he only has to send it after the 30 minutes. So he still has. Okay.
But it's not necessarily like a task out of the blue. It's relatable to ISEC, right?
I mean, obviously. Yeah. Last alignment, just because of current situation, please do not snack loudly during the actual presentation. You have the breaks for that. You just had 5 hours of break, so I hope you are done snacking. Amazing. I will leave you now, and you can, yeah, check. Okay, I'm in reading. Okay, see you. Thank you. Bye. You're welcome. Okay, you still have some time to just fun. I think there is no slide with the music, just to be aware. Like I think there is one there, but you can still clap. Yes, yes. Okay, you can still chill a bit. We need to do some technical things. Can you wait for a second? Can you open your email? So you know what you do. Stay as tidy, just shout, be as excited as you can. So let's welcome the candidate 2627 of
Hello, everyone. Happy to be back. Okay, that's the time again. Cool. Then, hey AIESEC.
What's up?
How are you feeling?
Yeah.
How are you really feeling?
Yeah.
Very good. Welcome to the output of the surprise phase. So I'm looking forward to you. What we can also make happen here. Yeah, and what I will also now do, I will give you basically the output of what I had the opportunity also to present to you. And it's also a lot of connected to what I also stand for, also as part of my MCP vision for AIESEC in Germany in the next year. Because something what we also need to know, we need to be aware where we are standing now. Because at the end of the day, we are all the people in this room that have the biggest decision power in the entity. So we are also the people who have the biggest influence also deciding also where the entity needs to go. And I believe this is not only something where we legislation meetings on, I think this is something we can always do. This can be in network calls, it can be in conversations, because the people who have the biggest influence on AIESEC in Germany is in this room. But having this in mind, let us look at the current state. So what you need to realize is we don't really know how to do exchanges. So for example, how to manage EPs, how to work with IRs, etc. But secondly, we are also dropping over on ICX exchanges, which in the end is very important because it's one of the key pillars of our financial model in the entity. And we're also barely doing IXP exchanges. So meaning that the membership that we're having is not to the degree connected to the product as you would like to have it or how it was also in the past. Thirdly, there's also a job of national partners because we cannot offer them the talents that they would like to have because they are mainly searching, especially on national conference, for German-speaking members, which we at the moment cannot provide to the degree we would like to provide. Secondly, here are the resources we have available. We have 6 MC members, including me, so 5 MCPs. We have 5 in LCs because we need to close a lot of them. And the LCs which do the best do a maximum of 20 realizations every year. The membership is mainly international, and I think what also comes on top of it, despite that they are studying, they're also merged into jobs that demand around 50 to 20 hours per week. So they don't necessarily have the capability to invest as much as you would like to have it to bring the current state also to a better direction. But something what we also need to know, which is also connected to this part here, due to we also close many LCs, also a lot of LCs are not running ICX anymore, because the majority of exchange is coming from our OJs. And this is the current state what we are in. And what basically the goal also, the task that is not the output here, which I will present to you, is to answer the following question. How can we achieve simple disruptive growth in exchanges in the first 6 months of the MC 26-27 term? And for this, I have a few proposals that I would like also to go into discussion space with you, what you're thinking about this. I will give you a few options. There might be also some benefits and shortcomings that come with it. And then after I present it, you will see what will happen. The main changes, because we are not doing so well in our membership overall, we are losing our national partners, which is very important. We just launched a national recruitment task force. Because there's nothing holding us back to just saying, hey, who wants to contribute? Let's go to each LC and let's get new signups. If the people want to contribute and they feel they can attract German-speaking potential members, then let's go. Why not? It doesn't take any resources, only one type form and one WhatsApp channel. What are the benefits? We can do it very quickly to solve recruitment problems in collaboration with MCs and LCs. So it's not something that only MC needs to do or only LCs need to do. But one short-term shortcoming is we take away autonomies from LCs who ideally take responsibility for their own membership. The second proposal which I have, we just open and running IGJ and OGB everywhere. Because there's lack of relevance for incoming global talent in all 15 LCs. So why are we not running in all of them? The benefits is we have more market exposure for incoming and outgoing exchange in all the locations which we are running. So meaning everything we can also align more in terms of what we want to do at the end of the day. And theoretically, we can also just open it. Theoretically, we don't need to have an application. But what could be a shortcoming is members need time to adapt to the new product. So maybe they get overwhelmed, they're not sure what they need to do, or how to sell it. Maybe it will be not successful. This could be a risk, this is for sure. Yeah. And then the last one. We can just use a little money that we have. 10,000 euros is comparatively to the whole budget very low. Yeah. And we just say, hey, we will fund for 200 euros per EP, or basically per member, to send members on AIESEC. This would enable us 50 exchanges, which would give us a revenue of 10,000, meaning we have a return on investment of 1. So we put money in and we get the same money out. But the benefit of this will be members are also more connected to exchange overall, and we have more brand ambassadors that we're also using here. And these were the first thoughts which I had on my mind. Some of them came up like on my mind when I was also doing there, but none of them was intentionally part of my strategic proposal. But I think they still align with overall, which I think is very important to drive also the entity, because in the end, all these things are very simple. Like these things we can not only achieve in 6 months, theoretically, we can also do them until end of January. But this can be our reality also in 6 months. Because we talk also a lot about, yeah, let's cut the MC structure, or we are lacking German-speaking people who are in our membership, or we're not doing so much well in incoming global talent. So all these things which I showed to you, most of you probably thought, this is very similar to the reality which we are at the moment at. But what kind of creates a sense of urgency here is that suddenly we need to act. You know, suddenly we need to make decisions which we kind of postponed or we're not making in the past. And sometimes it can be also very simple what we need to do. And this is also the question that I also want to basically answer also. Hey, why are we not simply doing it? So these are the things that, in my opinion, based on just 30-minute brainstorming, that I came up with, which I believe have a big impact on the current state of AIESEC in Germany. And why are we not using this room to just decide on it? Because we can just do it. Who's holding us back? Will your member call you to say you should not do this decision? Or will your predecessor come, or not for the next, for the current, when your predecessor suddenly go, no, don't make this decision. In the end, you can just make this decision if you think this thing should work or this thing you should follow or not. And this is also what one shot. Oh, there's one slide missing. Interesting. But I want to use this opportunity now also for this, because we will also do a procedure now. We just vote on it. So everyone here who is more than an active member of AIESEC in Germany, what I will do, we will see here 3 flip charts on the wall, where the 3 proposals are there. I can also put again the first benefits and shortcomings that you can see there. Yeah, what are the things that are proposed and what is one benefit that could be in one shortcoming? These will be put there, and what you now do, you can now talk with the person who's beside of you. You can have a 2-3 minute conversation. Maybe you come up with other benefits or shortcomings. You talk about it for 2 or 3 minutes, and then in the end you vote. And in the end, what we will do, the majority counts. So the option of yes or no, maybe we can show how one looks like. Yes, so for example, if you believe national German-speaking recruitment should be something which we just do in the next 6 months, so we kind of create a task force for specific agencies, we will just do attraction on campus, let's say in the first 2 weeks of April and the last week of March. If you believe this, you put a yes. If you believe you should not do it, then you can just put a no. If at the end of the day there are more no's than yes, okay, cool, then we made a decision, let's go. But if there's a yes, then we can also just do it. And this is something which I would like, discussing for 2-3 minutes with the person beside of you. What do you think are benefits or shortcomings? And if you made a decision, here will be somewhere a pen. You can just mark, and obviously I'll put everywhere, I guess, because I came up with this. But if you believe you are against it, okay, this is how it works. This is how AIESEC works. I also don't have all the answers. So have a lot of fun discussing and make your decision, because as LCPs and MCP should be also decisive.
like right now. Yeah, for that, yes, for that is okay, but then afterwards, I mean, afterwards it's not so important because there's no other side coming, but in general, yeah.
Next, space.
So basically, imagine
I don't know, but
if you have not voted yet, please slowly come to an end and vote. I only have 15 minutes.
oh, no, because you're not allowed. Not at all. Oh, okay. Because you just came from there. Exactly.
No, but
But fine, oder he has an active role. He said everything is part of it.
You vote already? Sorry. Everyone,
I think it's more. Did we get you?
Cool. Then thank you very much for being very decisive. You know, it can be so simple, right? So I just took 30 minutes of kind of brainstorming with a fictive task, yeah, which is very aligned to the current reality. But you can see that it only took 10 minutes to make a decision what could be done to also make the entity, you know. And for you also to know, it will not just stick there. So we can also for sure also use tomorrow also during the installation. I can check also again with Luke regarding what we do with the board report, because part of you already saw the board report, and there's no better board report than doing stuff which brings the entity forward. Yeah, I think we all know the current state because we all attended the spaces here. Yeah, so what we will do, we will move on these things forward in the decision that we also took to also check, okay, what do we want to completely do also to also implement these things, because all of these things can be done within the next 2 weeks, you know. And I think it's also more up to us to kind of also decide, hey, if we want to be decisive and just simply doing it. And with this, thank you very much for attending the space. And yes, that's it.
This is everything you ever wanted.
Okay. So now again, you can let the space sink in. Think about what was presented. I think we need to change the slides. So we are having now a break. It's up to date until 6:15.
Yep. I don't know.
Please stay in the
No,
room.
that's perfect.
So it's 2:06. So you have 13 minutes to be exact. They should stay in the room.
Yes.
Don't leave, but breathe. We can open the questions.
Unless you have to go to the bathroom, then just
The
bring your
windows.
ballot.
We will open the windows. You can stay here, and then we will continue with the closing speech. That's the last step that is ahead of Simon. I will put some roll calls, and then you can.
Ja, aber das ist
I also swear.
But I also do think it's not IIESEC, it's just saying like I
I mean,
know
making it
the
successful.
I know the IIESEC, so
making it successful is not easy.
I cannot stay another night, no. I can just stay until Saturday, so I can be done. No, I cannot. I mean, every night I spend here, people have to pay for me. I don't need a room. I just stay in the foyer. I just shower in the How would they know? They're gonna know. How would they know? I will think about it. But I was not there last year. I actually want to tell you about sports. That is my favorite movie ever. When I was thinking about my favorite movie, and then I was thinking when I won the award, and I was like, no, it was actually, I mean, of course it was cool, but it was underwhelming because it was on my conference because of Corona. So I was like, okay, it was not my favorite movie. And then I was thinking like, wait, when Browser got the award, but I was like, but it was not in my term, so I cannot have been there. Like, I don't know, I was only thinking, I know, and I remember that moment so clearly, but I was only thinking about the logistics of it. Like, I was only thinking we won the award, not at my term. I was not there. Like, I don't know that moment. And I was like, well, during my term, they gave awards. I don't remember who gave awards because I didn't care about it. So I was just thinking about it. But of course, that is my favorite entity. Like, especially how you turn around and you're like, we did it. First time, I don't even know what
You're gonna make me cry right now. I want to, but things are What does that mean? Egyptian, not German, so yeah. Okay, like that. If you I told them last time, if you're willing to make it a bench, then tell us style size, I can work like that. Maybe it could work, maybe it could try something. Yeah. Right? Okay. For others, they would already done like Unpaid, for instance, we had already done the flashback. So it was already done. So there was nothing happened. And also, so many people got involved to get in the change of permit. But right now, with the situation right now, the government right now, is getting very hard. I didn't want to.
Oh my God, wait. You were SUV project in 2024. I was in 2023. So that's 3 years. So if I did 23, so 22, 23, then you should have already done MCP. Yeah, you're okay. No, but he enters after but it's just for him. Oh my God, What's up? AIESEC! What's up? Again. AIESEC! What's up? Okay, that was much better. Let's do a short energy check. So this is, I'm feeling amazing. I'm so excited. I don't feel good at all. Again. Okay, you might need some coffee something, but most of you are doing good. That's amazing. So we arrived at the last step of the process. Of course, we have the voting and the announcement, but I mean, this is the last speech of today. Just an explanation, we have 15 minutes for this space. He will be presenting his closing speech, and there are no questions allowed. Anything missing to say right now? No. After the speech, Simon will go out again, so we can again hi, shout MCP, yay, and then we will get into the voting process explanation.
With a break.
After the break.
Yeah.
Okay. I am voting. Good that you're ready, right? You always wanted for me this moment. Okay, you're very excited already.
Hello everyone, happy to see you again. This is the last space we will have to each other as part of the MCP process. We can also talk afterwards, for sure also still. But to just also recap again, I'm still Simon, I'm still MCP for AIESEC in Germany 26-27. And what I believe AIESEC in Germany needs, I think AIESEC in Germany needs to be simply disruptive. And what is all the overall reason for this is that these are all the things that we could have. Because these are all the students that we could reach. These are all the companies that we can also work with. But this is also the potential of people who theoretically have the financial means to go abroad, but we need to also convince them also more in a manner that they would also go abroad with us and have also an impact for the exchange experience. And to ensure that this is also something which can enable is that we ensure that we focus on results and not only on mere solutions. You could also just see in the spaces here what we also did. We could have also made a brainstorming space or a lot of solutions, but in the end what we did, we created results. This is our result. This is something which we can work with tomorrow, and theoretically we can start implementing it next week. We clearly know our own market, so we have also clarity how to work with it. And last but not least, we also know what works and we also do it a lot. Because these are the aspirations that we want to achieve. We want to go disruptively everywhere, because growing is also something which has also a lot of benefits for the organization. We have more financial means to also invest in our membership or our exchanges. We can also run more conferences, and we can have also more conversations about what we want to do with our money and not where we need to cut our money, which I think is already a shift of conversation that we also need to have in the future. But the question that I also asked you throughout the whole day was, how would it look like if we simply do it? And there I brought you the strategic proposal. And I still believe that these are the things, if we really do them, in addition to also what we could do with this, these are the things that are also bringing us closer to our goal, where we would like to be. What I want to use the closing for is I want to share with you a part of my application package, because the closing will be mainly about the blank page that I created as part of the MCP application process. And the task of the blank page was to ask a question for AIESEC in Germany that should be answered through the blank page. And due to that only having one slide available and having a big answer for a very important question is for sure not enough to respect the answer that we should also give to this question. And what I basically asked there as a question was, I made a newspaper article and I called it AIESEC in Deutschland a business case. Are they asking themselves the right questions? Because where I'm also coming from is that I also had discussions with alumni who are also in AIESEC, where we had the biggest amount of exchanges. And I think this was also something which stuck with me, because the alumni basically said, are we really asking ourselves the right questions? Are the things that we're focusing on really the things that we should focus on, or is it way simpler what we need to focus on? And there's also, regarding this, also a famous quote, one of the most famous voices in the management industry. He's called Peter Drucker. Can recommend the book, yeah. Because their most serious mistake are not being made as a result of wrong answers, but the truly dangerous thing is happening by asking the wrong questions. And I believe we're asking us a lot of times the wrong questions. And which questions I believe we need to ask ourselves are the following. Why do we not do it simply? I think we just have an example how we can make simple decision-making processes without opening 6 tops and then 1 voting ballot, and then let's decide on if we can also just decide and just do it. You know, we can also do it in negotiation, yes, but what is holding us back to just set up a call or do it in a network call or just meet up on this conference? Why not now? We could also vote later or next legislation, or let's wait for the network call, or let's wait for the elects to do it because they have way more time to do it. Why not more? You know, why can we not send more people abroad? Why not having more members? Why not investing more money? Why not making sure that we take additional steps to ensure to solve also the things that we want to solve? Because connected also to the beginning, that I believe this is needed, because I believe this is needed so that AIESEC in Germany gets what it deserves. Because I believe AIESEC in Germany deserves nothing less than the best. And I think these three questions are a fundamental thing which we need to ask ourselves to ensure that the entity is also at its best. Because I want to be this entity at its best, because I deeply care about this organization. And that's why I'm also applying again for MCP. And I'm also firmly believing that each one of you is also caring about this organization, or you would not be here in this room listening for one whole day to a person saying, what's AIESEC going on, while your parents were maybe wondering, what are you doing here? Because at the end, this organization also made me who I am today, and also the person who has also the capabilities to also talk in front of you, also talking about my ideas, and also convincing others, and making sure other people are also involved, which in the end have shaped me also a lot, not only what I do in AIESEC, but also beyond AIESEC. Because at the end of the day, the version that is in front of you is a product of everything what I did in AIESEC, how much I did it, and also with whom I did it. And due to that, not every one of you knows what previous experiences I had in AIESEC, I also want to walk through what is the AIESEC I had the chance to experience. What is the AIESEC that led me to that I'm the person who applies again for MCP, or is capable of doing things which you maybe might be wondering you would also like to do, or things that you also find inspiring. And we start with my first experience. This was the first time I took over any leadership. I was 2 months in the organization, but I think one thing was already very clear when I was a TM. My AIESEC is too small. Yeah, we were only 10 people. It was online. Yeah, imagine you are on a Zoom call and you only have 10 people. Not cool. Yeah, not something that you can put on the CV, especially if you're an HR student. Yeah, so I for sure also had a big ambition of, hey, let's make my AIESEC big. I need to be there. I need to make sure there are a lot of members. But something which I also did through the research was an average BTM back then did around 42 interviews. I did 68. Why? Because in order also to grow disruptively from 12 to 34 members, you need to interview more people. Because you need to interview more people so you can also select more people. But this way of thinking is not only something which was in my VP term. I also had the chance to be 3 months at BD. I can also recommend. Yeah, because there is also very the same. I didn't have a lot of sales. I did 2 EP calls mainly, and I think the only thing which I heard about sales was the word. So, and this for sure is also a lot of pressure if you enter in a team where people maybe already had experiences. And back then, the average BD sales manager or VP IGT or member did around 54 actions every month. But because I needed to catch up, I did 100. Because 100 actions is not so much. It's 25 actions per week. It only took like 2 or 3 hours to do. Because it also led to that, hey, that also revenue was signed. Maybe it's not the biggest amount of revenue, but to give it to you for context, this is more revenue than 60% of our AIESEC is generated in the whole year. This was generated in 3 months. And the same principle I also used when I also applied for MCP. We were dropping in HR, so why are we not growing in HR? You know, what is holding us back to grow in HR? And back then, the years before, we only recruited around 210 people on average. And then I was like, that made me my network excited to have a lot of people, right? So the average was 260. And this also led to that we were also growing disruptively overall in HR by 112. Because in the end, what I just simply did for them was I made them excited to have a big AIESEC, because everyone likes to have a big AIESEC. And it's also not so complicated to get a big AIESEC. But all these points which I also just mentioned to you, is more something which is in the past. But how can we also apply this actually to our current context? Because the new year has started. I hope everyone has for you some degree of New Year's resolutions. I believe one of these resolutions should be your January goals. Because these are at the moment the goals that we're setting ourselves in January on local level. We want to have 21 OGV approvals and 6 IDT opens. And what do we need to do for this? We only need to get 272 signups. This is nothing comparatively. We only need to get 400 actions. And if you again break it down, also more in depth, is how would it look like if you just simply do it? Because at the end, it's only 68 signups per week. I can check after the speech how it looks like an expert because I don't know. But the first week of January is already happening, you know? We had time on Monday, Tuesday. Today we also have time. There are people on campus, so we can get sign-ups. But it also means 100 sales actions per week. I can also check later HubSpot if you're already at 100. But what it also means breaking down, it's also not so much, because if you can see, it's only 0.6 hires per week per member and 1 sales action per member per week in order to get 400 actions in the whole month. Again, is it really that simple? Yes, it's really that simple. That's it. This is all what it takes to achieve the January goals. Because in the end, we just need to do necessary simple actions in order to also achieve this. And this is also something which I want to stand as MCP, because the benchmark before is very simple. 0 yearly average sales MCP calls, and this is the goal for the long term. This is a thing I can influence always. I can always do 10 sales actions per week. Because at the end of the day, if you want to grow this rapidly in each area, then you also need to do stuff, And similar to what I was also talking with you beforehand, who are the people that simply need to do a lot? Everyone. Also me. Each MCVP also, each LCP, each VP, each team leader, each member, everyone needs to do it. Because only everyone can be also able to be also the solution for it. Because what we just see, it doesn't take so much to get also to the current state that we want to get. And there are also the examples that is also working. Because simply doing it is something very, very straightforward. We simply do it, we know what is not working. My first 10 sales calls sucked. Like with each call, I waited like 15 minutes and then 8 minutes and then 5 minutes to just dial the phone. And at some point I just clicked and then let's go. The first discovery meeting was not good. It was really bad. But then at least I had more and then it got better. Because in the end, then we also figure out more what is working and we simply do it again. And it only happens through the repetitions that we have. And due to that, I believe also in MCP we should also role model. I also invite you also to join me, because from now on, everyone will do actions on Tuesday from 4 to 5 p.m. For the people who think there's no one in the company, have you then even called at the time? If not, then let's figure out if we find someone. And if you want to contact an EP, you can also do it there, We can do it together. And I think Richie or someone will now send an invite. Yeah, we can set it also in the calendar, so we can see each other on Tuesday already. But it should be also contributing to an end goal. Because what you can see here is the overall amount of sales actions that were done in the last year. And you can see here there's one person very, very, very ahead, and a lot of BT members, but I don't see so many people who are from AIESEC. And you might be wondering, why has Elena achieved more from a winter eco? Maybe because she did 8 times more actions than before. And I also need to position myself there at the end of the year, because I will be also known in this scoreboard. Because at some point at the end of the year, I will be there. And it's a little bit sad that Helene and me will be very, very, very lonely at the top. So that's why we are also inviting you to also join us, even if you're the LCP or VP. So we can be also together at the top, because then we're also learning also a lot. Because this is something which I also heard in the Sunlight route, which the LCPs also know. You cannot expect a 10 AIESEC, a perfect AIESEC, with 16 euros, going to conferences and having 20, 30 members, and then only give a 5 and only recruit 2 members or only do 3 exchanges. It doesn't work like this. And I think this is also something which I also truly stand for, because that's why I also believe AIESEC in Germany needs to be simply disrupted. You just need to simply do also more things to order to disrupt, because there are only wins. There's no lose. I never heard about a person who said, I did too much actions in AIESEC. The people who usually complain are the people who do the least actions in AIESEC. Because most times the biggest thing that we need to simply disrupt is ourselves. Our understanding what we need to do, how simple can be things that we actually set out to do. And to grow disruptively, you also need to act disruptively. Such as, for example, an MCP just doing sales. Why not? MCP can also do sales. Because this is also in the end also what I want to stand for at the end. Because I believe AIESEC in Germany should be simply disruptive. Because only a simply disruptive AIESEC in Germany can be proud to be
AIESEC in Germany, yes!
I'm Simon Tolga Zambali, MCP applicant for 26-27. Thank you very much and see you.
His arms are sweaty, these weak arms are heavy.
Okay, I have right now nothing to say. Okay, how do you feel? Yeah. So satisfactory to not have to say healing. Yeah, I just want to say a big thank you for everyone to come here today, even though Deutsche Bahn is not able to handle snow, apparently, we all know that. To spend this whole day, to be really, really good role models, not only for the other people that are in this room, but also generally for this whole generation and for this whole network of AIESEC in Germany, to lead such a process in such a respectful and fair and friendly way. I really enjoyed working all of you today, and then you made my job here very, very simple. I'm very excited that, the day is actually over and most of the part is done. Now you simply need to vote. See what I did there? Yeah. And since I will not be part of that election, this is my goodbye basically, but don't worry, of course I will stay during the evening so we can also talk later. Yes, we have a short break now, just actually the main reason for this break, just to be transparent, is also for Simon to be able to debrief a little bit after having done this whole process. So after the break, we will do again, like I will bring him and then he will also enter the room again and we will clap one last time to really just show him the appreciation for having done this whole process from literally the beginning of writing the application until the last words of his closing speech. Fernanda will guide you through that, but for now we have the break until 6:45 and then you will go into the voting process. After that, we will have dinner and after that, amazing announcement space where we will meet in the foyer. But I will also text it to you again on WhatsApp, so don't worry about it. Okay, that's it. Thank you very much, and enjoy your break. No. If you leave the room, post your
No, I'm okay.
I identify you now as the vocal person. I can use I'm gonna hold the expensive camera. I'm not sure if that's a good idea. Yeah. And then I just make the what am I doing? Yeah. I cannot. Okay, now I will use the. Why can you not take a picture?
Because I want to take the video in the camera. And that's how
Okay, so I just do like.
You don't even do like that. Just what
Still have the thing on? Yeah, I know something about her. Yeah, I guess
the water is being splashed.
okay. Only during water splashing?
Yeah, you want to have pictures with that.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna do
This is the zoom and look how close it is.
Okay.
I'm going to show you if you can get that the pictures. That's number one. Number two, I'm going to make sure that everyone has their flashlights on during the announcement because we need light. So we're going to have everyone.
We also have a Strahler.
Yes, we are going to use it as well, but also to give that cinematic. Because last time it was very cinematic with the lights.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Yeah.